This video is brought to you by Roll for Combat and The Fall of Plaguestone, an official Paizo actual play podcast. Join Prue, Cade, Brixley, and Celeste as they band together to save the village of Plaguestone from utter destruction. Listen now to The Fall of Plaguestone at rollforcombat.com. Hey everybody, Dave here with another Pathfinder rule reminder for you, and today I'm going to be talking about the Risky Surgery feat. Risky Surgery is a feat available at first level to anybody who is at least trained in medicine, and what it does is when you do treat wounds, it gives you the option of dealing 1d8 slashing damage to your patient. So yes, you're going to first harm your patient, but if you do that, you get a +2 circumstance bonus to your medicine check, and if the result of that check is a success, then it automatically gets bumped up to a critical success, which in the early levels in that trained proficiency would be 4d8 healing instead of 2d8 healing. There are a couple of things to keep in mind about using this. I saw a number of people online just oversimplifying this and saying if you do Risky Surgery and you get a success, then instead of worrying about 1d8 damage and 4d8 healing, just roll 3d8 healing, because 4d8 healing minus 1d8 damage gets you a net result of 3d8 healing, and so just make life easy and roll that. I would recommend not doing that, and the big reason for that is if you or your players roll anything like my players do, then it's entirely possible that you could deal 8 points of slashing damage on the 1d8 damage that you initially deal to the patient, and then roll nothing but ones on the rest of the healing. So after all of this, it would still be a net loss of hit points to the patient. And another question that came up was about battle medicine. Can you use Risky Surgery with battle medicine? And the answer to that is no, you wouldn't be able to, because battle medicine, even though it says that it uses the same DC as treat wounds and it heals the same amount of hit points as treat wounds, it's pretty clear that it's not the same as treat wounds. And Risky Surgery specifically says that it applies to uses of treat wounds, so you would not be able to use Risky Surgery when you're doing battle medicine. The next question was probably the biggest one, or the most frequent one that popped up, which was, can you use Assurance with Risky Surgery? And this is a little bit of a contested topic. There's two opposing viewpoints, and I'll give you both of them and then share you my thoughts. The first train of thought is that no, you cannot use Assurance with Risky Surgery, and the reason is because Risky Surgery uses the terminology if you roll a success. Okay, so it specifically says if you roll a success, and the Assurance feat says you can forego rolling in order to get a result. So if you're foregoing a roll, and the Risky Surgery feat specifically says that when you roll a success, this is what happens, then that school of thought is that you wouldn't be able to use Assurance with it. The other school of thought is that the terminology is kind of loose in Pathfinder 2nd edition, that rolling a success is completely synonymous with just performing any kind of a check, and therefore you would be able to use Assurance with Risky Surgery. Also, if you the second school of thought would say that if you are that strict with the wording of the feats where it says if you roll a success, then Assurance probably wouldn't apply to pretty much anything, because they all pretty much say when you roll this. So those are the two different opposing schools of thought on this issue. I believe that the intent is that yes, Assurance would apply to using Risky Medicine or Risky Surgery. You would not get the +2 bonus to that. If you choose to use Assurance with Risky Surgery, you would not get the +2 circumstance bonus because there are no bonuses or penalties applied to the check result when you use assurance. Every GM can make their own determinations. Those are the two different schools of thought on that issue. But yes, I believe that the intent here is that assurance could be used with risky surgery. So that's the story of risky surgery in a nutshell. As I mentioned before, I'll make sure I leave links to my other videos that go over the medicine skill and assurance and anything else that's relevant to this topic. If you have any suggestions for future rule reminders, please let me know in the comments. And as always, I want to thank everybody who supports me, whether that's through subscribing to the Patreon, leaving a comment, clicking the like button, subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate everything you do to support me and this channel. With that, thanks for watching, take care, and happy gaming.